All right, thanks for your patience, thanks for your flexibility. Let's get started. This is the forum for Overland Park City Council candidates. Again, 4 contested races in Overland Park, wards 2, 3, 4, and 5. Did I get that right? Uncontested races in wards 1 and 6. We're a little bit behind schedule. You know how these things work. Let's get to it, right? Okay, so opening statements will begin with Scott Mosher in Ward 4. We'll allow Amy a chance to respond right after him because they're in the same race, and then we'll go to Ward 5, back to Ward 1 and Ward 2, and then we'll get a chance to rotate around, so you're all going to get a chance to go first eventually when we get to questions. So 60-second opening statements, questions after that. I still do have a stack of questions from the mayor's forum up here, but if you have an additional question you would like to ask city council candidates in particular, write those down, and Leah Wonkum will be circulating around the room, and you can give those to her, and then she'll pass those up to me. Let's get started. So we'll start with Scott Mosher in Ward 4 with his first opening statement. You'll all get 60 seconds. Let's start with Scott.
Hi, everyone, and thank you for being here tonight. I got the luck of the draw, so I'm going to start. I've been a city councilman now for about 3.5 years, and what a learning experience. I've come a long way from the very beginning, and it's not quite exactly what I thought it was going to be, but I have to tell you that it's been eye-opening, and it's a big responsibility. And one of the things that I believe that I have done is listen to the residents. I do that well, and I talk with them on a regular basis, and I look forward to serving our city again for the next 4 years.
Staying in the Ward 4 race, we'll give the microphone over to Amy Antrim. If you do want to just move that over, just so we can hear you. Amy Antrim.
Hi, thank you all for coming. I am Amy Antrim, running for City Council Ward 4. First and most importantly, I am a wife and a mom to 2 incredible girls. For background, because you don't know me yet, I graduated from K-State with a degree in industrial and organizational psychology. Out of college, I went and worked as a caseworker for the mentally ill adults. Then 21 years ago, we moved here and I started my real estate career. I've worked new construction, learning the process of building a community, and became a student of the market, learning what impacts home values as a student of my clients' needs as well. But my why isn't just that Overland Park is an incredible place to start a business. It's because our first was born here and had a surprise diagnosis of Down syndrome. While we were in the NICU, we researched the very best place to live and found, like Dorothy's slippers, we were already here. Not just access to education and services, but in the loving, welcoming community in Overland Park, and that's why I want to give back.
So those are the Ward 4 candidates, Amy Antrim, Scott Mosher. We'll go down to Ward 5 now and give Andrew Payne a chance to introduce himself.
Sure, good evening.
And your microphone might not be on, or you might need to get it just a little bit closer.
How about now?
Yeah.
We're good? Okay. Well, thank you, and thank you to the Johnson County Post for hosting this. My name is Andrew Payne, and I'm running to represent Ward 5 on the Overland Park City Council. Overland Park is special to me. It's more than just a place where my family lives. It's a place where we've decided to put our roots down and call home. My wife, Heather, is an elementary school administrator in the Blue Valley School District, and this is the place that we've decided to raise our young son, Henry. And we want this to be a place where he can be proud of for years to come. Professionally, I'm the Vice President General Counsel of a local financial services firm. I'm headquartered right here in Overland Park. And beyond that, I serve on my HOA board, and I'm a graduate of Leadership Overland Park. I think that leadership on the City Council comes down to one question, and that's, can your neighbors count on you? And I want to bring accountable and thoughtful leadership so this stays one of the best places to live in the country.
Staying in Ward 5, we'll give the microphone over to Alexandria Washington for you to introduce yourself.
Happy Thursday. My name is Alexandria Washington, and I am running for Overland Park City Council in Ward 5. My family and I have lived here for over 25 years. When we moved here, before I went to freshman year of high school at St. Thomas Aquinas, we moved out at 143rd in Quivira, which at that time felt like the edge of civilization. And so to see Overland Park change and grow over the last couple of decades has truly been amazing. After Aquinas, I went to Avila University. I have my master's in organization development. I also have a master's in financial therapy and financial planning from K-State. So I have all these tools in my toolbox. How do I give back to the community that I love so much? And so I was inspired to step up and run for city council. Overland Park ranks consistently as one of the best places to live, and I hope to move it forward into the future.
So that's Ward 5, Andrew Payne and Alexandria Washington. Thank you so much. We'll come down to this end of the table, into Ward 2. I do think you need to hit that button to turn the microphone on, and we'll give it to Melissa Cheatham first.
Well, hi. Thank you very much to the Johnson County Post for hosting, and to everyone who's here and watching online. Appreciate your engagement. I'm Melissa Cheatham, and I'm your city council member if you live in Ward 2, and I want to thank you especially for the honor of having served you for the last 4 years on the city council. I'm a mom, and I like to think of myself as a problem solver. I ran for city council thinking about a problem I solved in my neighborhood. There was a park very close but difficult to get to because there wasn't a good crosswalk across a busy street. Came together with my neighbors, and we fixed that problem. Gave me a taste of that, and I've been happy to work on things for this community since then. I'm very proud to have championed the property tax rebate program in Overland Park that's new this year. Very proud to have heard from our animal shelter about rules that were making it hard to get pets into homes, big and small. I'm very happy to listen and help solve problems to make your life better here in Overland Park, and I'll appreciate your support. Hopefully we can continue.
Staying in Ward 2, I'll put the microphone over to Sydney Marsden and give you a chance to give your opening statement.
Can everybody hear me okay? Fantastic. So my old title was Firefighter Paramedic Marsden. You'll see me on the ballot as Sydney Marsden. I come from a first responder background. I have a bachelor's of science in business. I was in the business pitch competition there. Lots of business experience from entrepreneurs in my family. So to kind of keep it short, sweet, and to the point, which is the way I like to do things, I'm running for city council in the hopes that I get to solve the problems in my neighborhood. I have a lot of neighbors who feel very unheard. I have a lot of neighbors who feel left out of the conversation. I'm fighting for transparency in our local government, and I hope to be a representative for Ward 2. Thank you so much.
And finishing opening statements, we'll go to Ward 3. Tom and another Amy will give you chances to introduce yourself. We'll start with Tom.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Kyle, and the Johnson County Post for hosting us tonight. My name is Tom Carrington. I'm running for Overland Park City Council in Ward 3. I like to think of Ward 3 as the beating heart of Overland Park. We heard the mayor talk a minute ago, and Ward 3 encompasses the entirety of College Boulevard. It's an important part of our city, an important election. I did serve one term from 2019 to 2023, and I'm very proud of the work I did along with fellow council members to survive the COVID pandemic, both the health and financial aspects of that, and also to work to create our Overland Park Crisis Action Team, which is a mental and trauma-informed health co-responders. I and my wife moved here 17 years ago. Both of our children were born here, and I look forward to the opportunity to represent Ward 3 again. Thank you.
Staying in Ward 3, the final opening statement we'll give to Amy.
Thank you. So after high school graduation, I did what a lot of young Kansans do, and I left. After 25 years away, I returned in 2016 after my mother died, and I became a caregiver to my father, who now lives in a memory care facility here at Overland Park. My husband and I moved to Ward 3 in 2021, and I am fortunate to live in walking distance to my dad. My 30-year career in nonprofit fundraising, grant writing, and program development make me uniquely qualified to serve on City Council. I understand the constraints of limited budgets and the necessity for collaboration and consensus. And I understand the responsibility that public servants have to the people they serve. I am currently the Development and Communications Director for Bike Walk KC, a transportation advocacy organization. I currently serve on the stakeholder group for the Metcalf Corridor Fast and Frequent Transit Project, the steering committee for the OP Wayfinding Master Plan, and the World Cup Marketing and Communications Subcommittee.
Well, thank you to all of you for your opening statements. Again, 2, 3, 4, 5, left to right as you see them. Now we'll get into some questions, and there are 8 of you, and we have an hour. We can't possibly get to all the questions and issues, and so I do believe a question that I asked the mayor is a good place to start here for you as well, because it might give you a chance to touch upon multiple issues in one question that are priorities for you, and the voters get to know you and your platforms more closely. And so we'll start this with Andrew Payne in Ward 5. And so the question from the previous form that I think is a good one still here, what are the top 3 issues for you? And what's your plan to address each of them if elected? And for this one, and only this one, we'll give you 90 seconds to give you a chance to kind of stretch your legs and expound a little bit. So Andrew Payne in Ward 5, top 3 issues for you.
Sure, I think my top 3 issues are A, B, C. We'll start with A. That's A, acing the basics. I think that we need to have basic infrastructure and basics, including fire, police, infrastructure. You dial 911, they're going to answer in 1.5 seconds. You've got smooth roads. Those are the things and the core expectations that people in Ward 5 and people in Overland Park expect. And I think that the budget and the time that the city council spends should be reflective of making sure that we're getting an A+ on all of those things. If we're not getting an A+ on those things, we shouldn't be spending our time on anything else. B, it's building an economy that supports our quality of life. And so we're going to, bring in quality jobs, bring in high-paying jobs, because without that type of growth and without that type of, building of an economy, it's not going to be able to support the quality of life that we expect. We expect a big tax base to provide these quality services at a low cost. And C is what I like to call creating a home that we can call home forever. And so Overland Park should be a place where you can call home forever. Whether you're a new young professional, a working family, a retiree, or someone who's an empty nester, there should be a home for you available with a diversity of housing and a place where if you have a change in circumstance, you can call home. And so if you have your child, you raise them, you put them through these Blue Valley school districts, you want them to get a good job, oftentimes there's not an opportunity for them to come back. We want to solve that problem.
Staying in Ward 5, Alexandria, Washington, the top 3 issues for you, and how would you address them if elected?
My current day job is Director of Operations at a wealth management firm right in Corporate Woods. And so smart, fiscally responsible financial planning is definitely one of my top priorities. Overland Park right now is growing, 10,000 new residents in the last 5 years alone. And so ensuring that we remain fiscally responsible as we continue to grow is extremely important to me. And that also plays a role into public safety. We want our police department to be strong. We want our firefighters to be responsive. We need those core services to remain to keep up with our current level of growth. And then also, I want to ensure that we protect the green spaces and our public spaces and community spaces, including public pools, public parks, as we continue to build out our infrastructure. We don't let those things get left behind. A way to do that, if I served on the city council, is to build up a level of transparency. I think that right now residents sometimes don't feel like their concerns are being heard or listened to. So as we navigate the next 5 years, the next 10 years down the line, just ensuring that residents are listened to and creating a high level of transparency with their local government, because local government is where the sauce gets made.
In Ward 2, Melissa Cheatham, what do you see as the top 3 issues for you? How would you address them?
Great, thanks for the question. First priority has to be keeping the city working, the basics. I think we do a great job at that right now. Our resident surveys reflect that. That's what I hear when I knock on people's doors and I ask people, what's bothering you? More often than not, the answer is, things are pretty good here. I think of that as being, when you go to the park, there's going to be toilet paper in the bathroom. If you call and report a pothole, that's going to get fixed. The basic things that you don't want to have to think about, we have to keep doing well. And we do that through ensuring we have sustainable funding to do those services, retaining top staff by treating them well, and planning wisely for the future that might look a little different than the past. My second priority would be keeping the city safe. I'm the chair of our Public Safety Committee, and it's important to me that we ensure our fire and police departments have the resources and training they need. We've done a lot of good work on this in the last 4 years. We went from 40 vacancies in our police department down to as low as 15 with new compensation, a new chief, new training, new technology for our officers. I also support a holistic approach to public safety that includes mental health. And my final priority would be improving sustainability, investing in our parks and trees, energy efficient buildings, walking and biking infrastructure. I think these are things that improve our health, improve our quality of life, and make this a great place to live.
Staying in Ward 2, Sydney Marsden, what are the top 3 issues for you? How would you address them?
Yeah, absolutely. So my top 3 issues are responsible development. I want economic sustainability to encourage businesses' growth, not empty buildings, and I want to bring in more homes that people can afford to move into and have sustainable lives in. The second is public safety. I may have an affinity for that one, but as a firefighter paramedic, I want to make sure that the money that goes to our first responders actually makes it to our first responders, not around our first responders. We want to make sure that we are securing those who protect us by protecting them in their jobs. And then the third is community first. I want to put the park back into Overland Park. I want to protect our amenities and the reasons why people want to build a home or move a business into Overland Park. With everything being great right now, it's hard for my neighbors to see that when they don't have a pool or a public restroom at their parks. Thank you.
Going to Ward 3, Tom Carrigan, what are the 3 top issues for you? How would you address them?
One of the most common things I hear when I'm out talking with residents is that they love the safe, strong neighborhood where they live, their ability to walk the dog or go to the park. And so my first priority is to maintain that and to strengthen that and to keep investing in our public safety and other resources that keep our neighborhoods strong. Overland Park was built on strong neighborhoods, and that should continue to the future. Second thing, and Councilmember Cheatham mentioned it, is the investment in those public safety resources. I was in a neighboring municipality across the state line recently where I was with someone who waited 40 minutes on the phone to talk to a police dispatcher, and that's absolutely unacceptable. We have high standards in Overland Park, and we should maintain those. Second is taxes, and it's a common one that I hear at the door. And what I think of it as how do we best balance the needs and wants of our community? We all have to do that in our daily lives, and I think the city has done a good job, but I'm sure there are ways we can work together to improve on that. Some of the things that I've heard at the door are, hey, our capital expenditures, our short-term and long-term needs, how do we better balance those to make sure that that value for the dollar is there? And lastly is housing. That's another key important, that missing middle housing, those duplexes, those fourplexes. And one of the things that I want to work on collaboratively with the city, the state, the county, the utilities, the landowners, the home builders, is how do we come together and generate ideas to build more homes? And I think those are the 3 things that I'm focused on.
Staying in the same Ward 3 race, Amy Scrivener, what are the 3 top issues that you want to tackle if elected?
For me, a lot of the top 3 issues for me have a lot to do with watching my father really struggle to age in place here. That relates to housing, it relates to transportation, a transportation system that prioritizes moving people, not just cars. And underpinning this, and I will say it's not the most sexy subject, and has put me to sleep a couple of times reading it, is UDO, the zoning and land use decisions, because the decisions we make around zoning and land use make it possible to do or not do things around housing and transportation. So in digging into some of those issues and bringing a lot of personal perspective and professional perspective to it, what are the role that more nonprofits could play in partnering with the city to create solutions around housing? Housing, there is this missing middle, and we keep talking about it, and we keep talking about it, and we keep talking about it, and we're not addressing it. For me, what's missing are some of the conversations with the developers. We are limited at the city to build some of this housing if developers aren't willing to do it, to develop accessible, affordable housing, then we're a bit stuck. For me, I don't want to get in the way of anyone creating a profit for their business, but when you're developing or when you're providing housing, a very basic, essential service, you also have a responsibility to meet the community need.
Going to the Ward 4 race, Amy Antrim, what are the top 3 issues that you want to tackle if you're elected?
Thank you, and thank you for the...
Just move that microphone,
Is this
yeah,
on?
just maybe direct it closer to you, yeah, right
better?
there.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. So I think of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and we have to take care of the basics first. You've heard that multiple times up here, that we have to continue to be excellent in providing safety and infrastructure. When it comes to when it comes to safety, I want to make sure that our officers are well trained and paid, as well as have the mental health background that I find so important and is a growing concern for our communities and our police force. When it comes to infrastructure, you know, when you take care of things, they last longer. That also feeds into being fiscally responsible. With those basic needs covered, I think then we need to focus on drawing in business. That additional business will provide jobs for our future and keep our taxes low because they pay a higher tax rate. And I couldn't not mention housing, as everyone else has, and I'm the realtor that's up here. It's a passion of mine that people be able to own their own properties, and I know that that is not very obtainable here in Overland Park. I think that there have been some plans that have been started in the city over the last year to have development, to coax developers into making an easier process for housing. So those are the things I'd like to work on.
And wrapping this question up, staying in Ward 4, Scott Mosier, the top 3 issues that you want to tackle if you're, in your case, reelected.
Well, the reason I even got on the city council to begin with was the support of the police. There was a statement made that
Your microphone might not be on. Your microphone might not be on. Is the green light on now?
Let me start over. As many of you know, my history is I got into the city council because my son asked me to. I went to a city council meeting with him and his fraternal order of police, and the statement made by a council member was, and I quote, "You knew the danger of the job when you took it, so we don't owe you anything." When I heard that, I thought, you know, that is just atrocious. And my son looked at me and said, "You know what? You need to run for city council and get rid of those people that don't support the police." Well, I'm happy to say that in my last 3.5 years, I have not seen that from the existing council members. I think that things have changed. We have the CAT unit, which quite honestly might have helped had my son been involved with that unit. But anyway, giving them the right tools, giving them the salaries, and working with them to be the department that they have developed into is one of my priorities and will continue to be. The other thing is proper development, affordable housing. And by the way, apartments are not affordable housing. I don't know if you live in an apartment like I do, but I pay $1,800 a month. And then the last thing is, let's cancel the tax increases that we do every year.
We'll start with Alexandria Washington for this next question. You'll get 60 seconds for this, each of you, and before we move down here, we'll give Andrew a chance to respond, just so you hear both people in that race first. So you represent different wards from the north of the city to the south of the city, so your areas and wards are going to have different needs. Several of you mentioned housing. So how do you what is the most urgent housing need in your ward, and how do you address it? Alexandria Washington.
Yeah, housing is definitely going to be spoken about a lot this evening, and Ward 5 is further south. And so right now,
Make sure that microphone is on and turn towards you, please. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so right now there is definitely a shortage of housing, but there's a shortage of affordable housing. And so what's going on in the southern part of Overland Park is that a lot of these luxury developments and apartments are being put in. And people are scratching their heads going, who can afford them? Who's living in them? Earlier, Mayor Kurt had mentioned that a lot of people are trying to age in Overland